Magpie's Collection ASMR. Today I wanted to show a couple of things that always make me feel better every time I see them in my house, and you can probably tell there's a bit of a theme. So everything here reminds me of the works of Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli. I've always loved Ghibli films, watched them all growing up, maybe starting some of them a bit young, but they've been super influential in my life, and I definitely think of them as comfort stories. They always have so much heart and compassion, and I love the beautiful detailed landscapes and weird technology machines and all of these amazing heroines who I think are just allowed to be kind and compassionate, but they're also just people. I think has some of the most empathetic heroes. They feel like people. So I'll start with what everything's lying on. This here is a vintage kimono from my trip to Japan about 8 months ago, and it really reminded me of the mountain temple, a small town we visited called Nikko, which has the personal shrine of Shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu, and it absolutely feels straight out of Princess Mononoke. It's amazing, tall trees shrouded in mist and moss, blanketing the whole mountain. Just really serene, almost eerily beautiful. So I saw this, I couldn't let it go. I needed it to come home with me. We also stopped at a Ghibli store, and one of my faves that's, I think, a bit of an underloved Ghibli film is, of course, Porco Rosso. I think Porco is such a fun character. I love his attitude. He may be a pig, but he's not a fascist, and that's the energy we need in this day and age, so we stand Porco in this house. I also love the beautiful summery feeling of the film, these amazing plains and sky pirates over the Adriatic, and this really kind of melancholy, more adult, mature romance in the background. It's really tragic romance, so I think it needs more love and it needs more merch, absolutely. So it was one of my goals going to Japan, because in the States we don't really get Porco merch at all. So when I saw this whiskey glass, I was like, that's perfect. Porco would have that. Just super cute. I was really, really excited to pick that up. I also picked up a can batch. So they had a bunch of different series of these with different films. And I'm not a huge blind boxer. I only pick up things where I'd be happy with any of the designs. So I went for House Moving Castle, which is another one of my favorites. I think this kind of vintage look is so cute. This is the Milk Cap series. Caps for here. And open it up. It's pre-opened, but I don't remember which one. Oh, it's the one from the front. I think this is such a cute design. And Sophie and Howl, where they're flying across the town. He says, "Drop your legs, keep walking, that's right, don't be frightened, very nice." And he has the ring that guides Sophie home. So that's super cute, and I'm excited to get that in one of my tote bags. I also picked up in Nico this super cute little glass jar of caramels. And doesn't it just look like something that Kiki would have in her bakery? This cute little kitty on top, beautiful paper packaging with a stamp and little cats all around it. So it's honestly been serving more as decor. It's just too cute to eat. But it was from an amazing bakery of little custard tarts, so I think I'll finally break these open and enjoy them. I did also pick up a tiny tanuki, which reminds me, of course, of Pompoko, and he looks just as mischievous. He looks like he could be out causing mischief, shape changing, and getting up to all sorts of nonsense. So super cute, and sits on my desk along with his little chopstick rest, be like his bottle of sake. And then main event for me, I had this amazing book of Hayao Miyazaki, concept art and essays. This is from a museum exhibit at the Academy of Motion Picture. And I love concept art, so I was really excited to receive this as a gift from my family a few years back. Of course, Spirited Away, the bathhouse, which is so amazing. It's like a character in itself. All of this incredible detail. And then we have Nausicaa here, and another feature of a lot of Miyazaki's work. This amazing natural world, sometimes at a fantastical level. So I love that. And of course, his love for flight. You see that in Porco Rosso, in Castle in the Sky, The Wind Rises, of course in Nausicaa as well. So I think it's so cool to see some of the themes in his work. From their inception, movies have captured our collective imagination by showing us the reality of our world or or by transporting us to another dimension. Movies allow us to experience other points of view, and by doing so, connect us through their shared humanity. The idea of founding a film museum, a space in which to champion cinema as a transformative art form, was first brought forward in Los Angeles shortly after the founding of the Academy of Motion Pictures and Arts and Sciences in 1927. It is a great honor for the Academy to present Hayao Miyazaki as its inaugural temporary exhibit. This is the North American retrospective of one of cinema's most treasured auteurs, an artist responsible for some of film history's most cherished animated movies, among them My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away. Miyazaki-san's extraordinary artistry, vision, and creativity has influenced and delighted filmmakers and film lovers around the world. Enchanting and deeply moving, his films have earned him global acclaim and continue to inspire endless wonder. Here we have beautiful still from My Neighbor Totoro. Just flip through. What I really wanted to see in this book was the concept art, because I think you get so much of his process and his building of these worlds from that. So we have another one of my underloved faves, Castle in the Sky, and I love this as well. The amazing, steampunk, speculative iron town or mining town. This amazing, huge bridges for the trains. Early concept for Nausicaa, big millipede, pillbug, alien monsters. Hidden among the many illustrations drawn at the conceptual stage, among all the materials originally used in discussing the chaotic and disparate ideas, lies the real story we want to create. I think that's the real interest in concept art, is distilling down what the real heart of a piece of art or a piece of film is. Here we have Laputa from Castle in the Sky. And it's so interesting. You can see these layers to the floating island, kind of like almost the rings of Dante's Hell, and some of them are, this looks more like a military fort or a pleasure palace or gardens. You can see a lot of that mirrored in the themes of the movie itself. Classic, one of the amazing frames of Totoro. It's the cover art as well. So one of Kiki's really cute. She looks a lot more like grumpy than I think you see her in the final. The birds outside are very much giving Ghibli. You'll have to forgive them. They're very excited. And this is amazing art of Porco Rosso. This is so cool. This shows you how everything relates, where the hotel is in relation to the town, over this big expanse of water. And you can see Porco's red claim. Just ahead some. There's some amazing, really detailed concepts of the bathhouse. So gorgeous. And then, of course, the castle from Castle in the Sky. This big beast, which has so much personality in itself. A lot of really beautiful stones. Some amazing amazing character design work for Princess Mononoke and Ashitaka. And this one's really cool. You can see when she looked a lot more like a temple maiden, maybe. But she has this, like military vest on. Looks like it could be made of plates. Then she changed and became a lot more wolf-like. So I think it's a really interesting thought process to see how these characters evolved onto the film. Ashitaka had an earring, I guess. There really are a lot of themes in Miyazaki's work. Natural world and human industry, I think war and like love and human relationships are another dichotomy that's really at odds in his work. He'll often have these bigger conflicts kind of simmering below the scenes. You see that in Howl, and you see that in Pocoroso, so I think it's a really interesting focus of the story to have these wars in the background, but it's really small scale, personal stories. The beautiful concept art of Spirited Away, Mononoke rather, and the natural world. This one's gorgeous with Ashitaka and just the light. I think Ghibli has such a beautiful way of light. It really brings so much depth and emotion to the world. Nobody does it like them. Kodama tree spirits. Just when they seemed to appear, they twittered and laughter and have already disappeared. Just when they seemed to be walking at my feet, they are already in the duskiness far away, laughing. When spoken to, they run off in shyness. When ignored, they come close. You small children, children of the forest, to you this forest that you inhabit is so full of fun. Some early concept art of Nausicaa. I think that's a really interesting one for concept art as well. It's changed so much in the different iterations. Here she's a lot more militaristic with this big sword. It's really cool to see how it evolved, and then I think a lot of these themes were pulled into Castle in the Sky much later, for example. So Ponyo, the wind rises, some really moody art of that mining town in Castle in the Sky. It's one of those books that I'll just open up and every page is so inspiring. But another book I have of Miyazaki's work that's a bit more esoteric, along with his love for the natural world, also has Earl fascination with different vehicles and planes in particular, and speculative technology of how these crazy tanks would evolve or planes would evolve. So you see it in a lot of his different movies, but he also released, it's called his Daydream Note, and it's mostly set in the world of Pocoroso. So I will say this goes from the 1800s through the Second World War, so there's some iconography in this that we don't stand by, and we'll try to skip past. I won't go too into everything, but it does have a segment that is straight out of the film, just super cute. Boriko here blowing the heart to his little fangirls. I just love the colors in this movie. All these little funny touches. It has so much humor. We have the pirates have attacked this cruise ship and they're making an arrow to show the pirates went that way so Porco can chase after them. We have some of the other pirate planes with their camouflage. Even the pirates are a lot of fun. So I think this is so cool. The coolest part of this book, which I'll show, I'll flip through to some more scenes, are real details on the different vehicles. And I don't read Japanese, so I don't read a lot of this, but even just the diagrams of the two different tail fins on Porco's plane versus some of the other planes, it's just so cool to see. Oh my gosh, she's so fun. Here's a great diagram inside Porco's plane. There's Curtis, the American. All the sea pirates set up for the aerial duel. So it really just follows Porco's storyline, but there's also some really cool speculative designs for other planes and tanks, all sorts of stuff. So you can see how he's taken the inspiration of a pufferfish or some other kind of fish and taken a very realistic plane concept and kind of cartoonized it. I think that's so cool to see all these different gunners in here. They're so like chummy and really interesting proportions. And all of these diagrams of the innards of these different ships and people working in them. Here I think this is like a barricade. So they're definitely, he's drawing from real countries and real history, so it's very odd. There also still are like pigs and pigs here. This is a whole tank of pigs, and it's just so crazy kooky. Here they are in their little radio room or the kitchen inside the tank. All of them in the gunner's port. It's just so weird and so funny, but so detailed in the design of these vehicles. So someday I will read and translate all of this. But even like, look at these big towers, and they've camouflaged it to match with the village, which is so crazy and so funny. So it's just like a little oddity, and I think it's really cool. I love this stuff, this kind of like, what if planes just went wild and you had planes of all these different shapes and sizes. So I think Miyazaki really loves that kind of stuff too. So I had to pick this up. No English version that I know of, but I just like to flip through it sometimes. And get a little bit more of Porco's world. And then, last but not least, I have a little photo holder over my sink. So I like to switch out different postcards from these Ghibli films. As like inspiration. So we have here 100 postcards from the films released from 1984 to 2014. So it doesn't include The Boy and the Heron. I also gave away the ones for The Wind Rises to my friend who really loves that movie. So it doesn't film everything, but let's see. Interested in from these. If anyone hasn't seen any of these films, maybe go give them a watch. Or if there's some here that are your real favorites. So here we have Castle in the Sky, which is also one of my under-love faves. I love Shita and Batsu, and I think the villain in this is really cool. So that's one of my other faves. Lost from one more Sky Pirates from Castle in the Sky. We have Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. I think this one is so interesting. A little bit creepy, a little bit scary. The big bugs, but it's super cool. Another one of my underloved faves here, I'll put them over here, is the Cat Returns. Just so cute. And I mean, just like lighthearted and fun. If you're a cat lover, it's adorable. So highly recommend that one. Maybe I'll put my favorite images from this set at the top. I like this one, the Nausicaa. This is Born Yesterday, which is one of the more modern ones. So very sweet coming of age type story, very nostalgic feeling. I think I'll run out of space, so I'll also put Up on Poppy Hill on top. And I really like this one as well. Very, really pretty and homey details of a small Japanese town. That one's really cute. Ponyo. A lot of people love Ponyo. It's not my favorite. It probably was too old when it came out, but the colors are great, and I know it has a lot of fans. Put Ponyo here. This is Pom Poko, which is so interesting and kind of silly, but it's super cute. Also about environmentalism and kind of the loss of small town Japan due to industrialization and economic growth, told through the tale of a band of tanuki who are trying to protect their home. Tales of Earthsea, which I don't actually think is that good. I think it had so much potential and it's just a little bit weird, but worth a watch if you've just never seen it before. Of course, one of the bigs, we have Spirited, or geez, wow, Princess Mononoke, and I think this is one of the best animated films ever made. It's amazing, such a powerful film. San is such a cool character. I think Ashitaka is really interesting as well, and Lady Eboshi is amazing. She's kind of a villain, kind of not. I think she's one of the coolest female characters on film. She's so interesting. Porco Rosso, so sweet, and just really gorgeous colors. And this one comes up from Porco. Really fun summer movie. Whisper of the Heart, which is also a coming-of-age film about creativity and trying to have the dedication to go be what you're going to be when you grow up. And I think it's interesting. She writes a story in the movie. The character who looks surprisingly like the Baron from The Cat Returns. So in my mind, she wrote that book. And the movie is like the super beautiful, really gorgeous animation style. It's very traditional ink work. Of course, a very traditional Japanese fairy tale as well. My name is Yamada's. It's a really fun animation style too. We have My Neighbor Totoro, which is definitely a fan favorite. I think I was a little too old when I saw this one too, but I get why people love it. And it has such fun character designs. Who doesn't love the cat parts? Is When Marnie Was There, which has such beautiful artwork, really gorgeous natural scenery, and I absolutely bawled my eyes out when I first saw this. I really like it. The Secret World of Ariete, super cute. This is another one, like, if I had to live in a Ghibli world, I would probably pick Kiki, and being a borrower sounds super fun. I have to think. Maybe being in House World would be fun too, but being a borrower sounds very cute. Grave of the Fireflies, which is always an emotional juggernaut. I watched it again like a month ago, and again just bawled my eyes out. Even having seen it before, it's just such an intense, raw, emotional experience. So it's just an amazing movie. Howl's Moving Castle, which I would say is probably my favorite. All of them. I think it really elevated the book with the amazing steampunk setting. It's just so cool, and I think the world's so fascinating. So love this, love Howl, love Sophie, love Calcifer. Spirited Away is probably one of the best known, and also an amazing. I would probably say Howl's my favorite, and then Spirited Away, and Mononoke, and then Porco. It's just so beautiful and dreamy and amazing coming of age story as well. Kiki is our last, but very much not least. I love Kiki and Gigi. I have my own little Gigi, my own little black cat who keeps me going when I'm in a slump like her, and I think this one's really underrated as a really honest story of what it can be like when you kind of hit a funk and you just have to keep going and break through it. Every time I'm having a hard time at work, I'm like, I'm just being a Kiki and we're gonna keep going. It's all gonna be okay, and you have people who care about you, and you're all a community, and people appreciate the small things you do, even if you're not the best at anything, you're still making people stay. So I love a Kiki. And I have to pick 4 to put back up over my sink, and I think I'm gonna pick Kiki having a think at your job. I'm gonna pick Motivational Porco. I'm gonna pick, let me see, I think we need a howl. Let me see. This one's really cute. I might do Calcifer. because why not? I think it's so fun. Alright, I'll put these back up on my sink. But thank you for spending some time. I hope this makes you inspired to go rewatch one of your Ghibli feeds or try out a new one if you haven't seen them all. A little bit of nostalgia and enjoy the beautiful artwork